All right, well, we are back at Urban Academia for another week. Thank the Lord. Almost didn't make it. Y'all have no idea. Of course, I'm your host, Jay Zilla. I'm here with my main man, Chulo Rich. What's happening, Rich?
What's happening, man? What's happening, Jay Zilla? How you doing today?
Man, still operating behind the scenes, trying to right the wrongs of my cursed children. What the frap goes on around here, man? I got to get my
You
act
fix it.
together.
You probably can. You probably can.
Yeah, I mean, probably more than I want to. Isn't it weird that like any issue you really have somehow crawls its way back to your doorstep? Like, well, if you would have come out early like your wife said you should, you would have seen that and it could have been seamless, right? Then I could have drop kicked a couple of kids and then moved on about my business and no problems.
Hey, man. You might have had it messed up somewhere either way, man. We don't know now. Shit, it went like it went. That's what we
I
know.
hear you. I
That's
hear
all
you.
I
I'm glad Dean ain't around. He will definitely be shouting out that shirt you wearing, man. That's clean.
know.
What's
Hey,
that,
man.
MJ?
Hey, man. You know who it is, man. You know
Oh
who it
man.
is.
Oh
It's the GOAT.
man. So I want to warn you before we get any hate mail.
Hey, man. I
So
don't care nothing about their hate mail.
I figured, but just in
I
case,
care
like
nothing about that.
I literally, I did the title, whatever, and I put on there, myself and our special guest, Miss Jasmine Adams, who's in the green room. Go and have you a cookie or two and get you some juice. We'll be with you in a moment. But
Get your
put
juice.
on there, we all three are discussing tonight why
Get
women
your
belong in
juice.
the kitchen and men at the plant. Ooh, just threw her all the way under the bus, all the way under the bus. But that's not what we're talking. That's not what we're talking. We're talking roles and responsibilities, aka money planning, future planning. We're trying to ask some deep questions about these things, get a lady's point of view. And matter of fact, the wifey worked so hard on this graphic. We've been doing 6 weeks about this, men and women, issues between men and women. Tonight, roles and responsibilities, which
Major issue.
encapsulates a lot of things as we welcome our guests to the show. All right. It's not just one thing or another. Hello, Miss Jasmine. Say
Hello.
hello to the people.
Hello,
Hello, hello,
everybody.
hello, hello, hello.
All right. You want to introduce yourself a little bit, man? Maybe I don't know, talk about your like what do you do? Who are you? Why are you here? Go.
My name is Jasmine. I'm a PA and a mom, and
Congratulations. Shout out to that.
thank you. And I am here to represent for the ladies. So
Thank you. We needed that.
I wish I had one of them. Yay! Like I'm not
Yeah,
that
right. We got to
I
sophisticated
get
got,
some
yet.
sound effects, man.
but I
We
don't
need
know.
Look,
some.
oh, she posed with her own sound effect.
My fault.
Man, I wish. Listen, look at him. Look at him pointing. Look how proud he is. That's what I'm talking. It's not often we get guests with such a, I don't know, a plethora of equipment there, right? I just wish it had some sort of Maury thing, right? Because
She
man,
probably
I used
does.
to
You didn't
love
ask.
that back in the day. You got something like
We didn't
that?
know she had that till a minute ago.
You
I
got
got a
some
bunch
Maury?
of sounds.
I mean, you got some Maury sounds like just a boo or something. Look,
Ooh,
look.
yeah, ooh,
You
yeah,
don't know me,
tomato,
Maury. You
tomato,
don't
tomato.
know me. She lying, Maury. She lying. Oh, sorry. See, I got into it. Look, I
Man, I'm
claim
going to
all
get one
four
of
of my
those.
children just to be
I
sure
need
to
that
you
ASAP.
interneters out there.
I'm finna tear y'all up with that boo.
Yeah, okay. We'll take it.
Anytime we
I'm
say a
here
bad
for it.
point, man, now we know
We'll
what's
fight it.
coming. So yeah, responsibilities, roles. What are they? I guess is the place we can start. Like, how do we define what roles are? I guess I'm sure I'm asking that wrong. I mean, I don't. Nothing's being thrown at me here by the my missus here. So we discuss how to approach these things. But talk to me, like, how do we decide who does what? Right, Mr. Rich, you want to start?
I mean, I can, but wait. I thought we talked roles, man. Did we not talk roles already, Jay Zilla?
No, sir, we didn't. And I
We
can't
did
believe
not.
in front of in
Are you
front of all
certain?
this company, in
Are
front of
you are
all
you
this company,
positive we didn't talk
in
roles?
front of all this
You
company.
positive? You promise?
You
I
know
don't
what?
believe
You
it
might
anyway.
be right. You might be right. So maybe I
I'm
lumped it
pretty
all in.
sure.
So future
I mean, I
planning.
was here with you. I was here with you.
All right,
Rich said,
future planning. He is absolutely whooping me, and he should. I'm in the public square. I'm shirtless. I'm tied to some sort of stockade and being whipped in
Hmm.
front of everybody else to make sure that they do
Hmm.
not make the same mistake.
Yeah,
Right?
say it. Say it.
I apologize. Hold on. Everybody, clear out. Listen. I apologize, crowd. I loaded the wrong graphic and I went with the graphic, and I got private messages correcting me, and it still didn't happen. Right? Surely my co-host and you, the audience, will forgive me, but that is not what we're talking about this week. We did that last week. It has been a crazy day, but no excuses. And I'm sure I'm gonna allow these people to get back on, and I'm not gonna have to hear that crazy booing noise, right? Surely
thought it
that's
was
not
coming.
gonna happen, right?
I really thought it was coming.
Surely that's not. No. I'm saying it. So here's the producer in me. Let me let you peek behind the curtain. I'm saying all that to cue you up to play it, just so I can talk crap back to the imaginary booing audience. Hit it, Jazz. Hit it. Surely I'll be spared. Ain't none of y'all perfect. Okay. All right. So now we got that out the way. So future planning / money decisions. Who's making this and why? Who wants to go first? I just need a snack. Y'all think I'm playing? I'm dead serious. Who wants to go first, that gummy? Somebody else talk instead of me so I can take a couple of bites of my lovely wife's dinner.
Take that for me, Jazz. I'm responding to a message real quick.
Oh, okay.
You got it.
Well, I think that
You wanna
depends.
know. They've been listening to me talk. They don't want to hear my ass talk right now.
Kind of a vague question, but I think that depends. Y'all have to come to an agreement, If your girl want to stay at home and take care of household and kids, and you go out and make that money, then great. If she has aspirations and both of y'all have to split that up, then also great. So you have to be on the same page with it. So
Come on, co-host, do some work, that gummy.
So my bad. I ain't gonna lie. I was doing a
What I
message.
gotta do around here?
So did we switch? Did we switch? We switched, right?
Switch what?
I mean, are you still asking her about roles and responsibilities?
No, I did a whole apology. We did a whole bit. What the fuck are you doing?
All right, maybe it was a long ass apology. So where did you go to?
I can talk crap like that because he's somewhere on the East Coast and I'm in New Mexico, safe behind his computer. So this is probably the most I've ever talked trash. Maybe it's because Jazz is here and she's bringing something to the table, making me feel like I gotta step up my game, right?
Hello, me.
Everybody knows the secret, right? As we've been discussing the past month or so about major issues between men and women, we defined sort of some roles, right? There are masculine and feminine men, and there are masculine and feminine women. So I fall into, if you go to the former category, the latter of the former category. Does that even make sense?
You talking shit now? What do you?
So basically, get them off the screen. Get them off the screen. Dadgummit. So basically, what we're talking about is, I am indeed what we discovered a feminine male, right? So
okay.
I have more agreeableness, right? Traits of that nature. Wait, where is this? Okay,
Like non-confrontational. You can kind of go with the flow of things. Okay, I got you.
And I have a bit of a, coming from a single parent home, I have a bit of a hero complex, right? So here's the personality, the 5-point personality trait.
Oh, I wonder where I go.
Neuroticism, openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, and agreeableness. So me, I rank high in agreeableness and openness, which puts me in the category of being in the feminine category, right?
Okay.
Like with me pursuing ladies, right? Back in the day, Lord have mercy. Oh my God. Okay. All right.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Let's get it together, man.
I think we're okay. All right. So yeah, back in the day when I used to pursue the ladies, it was more about an emotional connection and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like Jazz being on the show makes me want to be more like, hey, talk trash to Rich. Let her know that I'm a masculine man. I'm a manly man. Like, no, it's not true.
Well, we need to talk shit to each other, man. Come on, man. Black love.
That's right.
Black power. Black love. Come on. Let's do this.
All of the above. So Jazz, I know we were talking a little bit before in our little group chat, right? Because I was last minute hunting down how do I even approach this subject, right? Let's see. 1 of 3 questions. I forget what we're saying. Disagree. No. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. Oh, okay. Let's start with this. Which comes first, trust or humble negotiations in a relationship? And then I'm gonna step back and take another bite because I'm starving. Go ahead, Jazzy Jazz. Run the show.
I feel that see, that is kind of a very chicken or the egg type question. So little loaded, but I
Hold on.
feel
Let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you. I like this. Which came first for you, chicken or the egg?
Okay.
the the negotiation, I think like in my personal experience, my most successful relationship is with Craig, your dear friend. So I feel like we definitely set some boundaries on disagreeable moments or confrontation or whatnot. There are some places you don't go, and if either one of us violates that, it's like a deal breaker. So, I think that we set those boundaries first, and the trust came with just fulfilling, you know, the terms of the negotiation that we came to. Once both of us fulfilled those sides, I think the trust came with that. So I would say the negotiation came first. I think that's a really good foundation to start on, especially if you have trust issues. That's something that you need to work on. I think it's best to have good negotiating skills or communication skills first.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Sorry. I'm over here in the comments and like we got people texting me, which I don't know why they would text me knowing that I'm live in the show.
Burns.
Dadgummit. Rich, let me get a rebuttal for you. I told you I'm trying to eat. Like, let's be real. I'm trying to eat over here, man. Talk to me.
Hey, man. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. But as far as roles and picking out, who does what, and we've already established every household is gonna be different. You know what I mean? So it's what you do, what you like to do, what you feel like you're good at. You know what I mean? I feel like each household should be able to be honest enough with each other and themselves to be able to put each person in position to do whatever needs to be done. You know what I mean? A lot of households though do not have they don't have the initial platform or foundation built with each other to do anything of value or of substance together. You know what I mean? That would be my answer through experience. You know what I mean? I have experienced situations where you're doing things that you should do up here, but you haven't covered these ground bases yet. So yeah, man, there's a lot of shit that you have to talk about first, and people do not talk about the things that they need to talk about first. Just kind of skip into some shit.
So trust or negotiation, which one came first?
If I don't trust you, I'm not going to negotiate with you. You know what I mean? Like as far as inside of a household, you know what I mean? I have to trust you in order to be able to negotiate with you or to feel like what you're saying could be for our benefit rather than you just taking advantage of me or for no reason at all. Some shit I don't understand, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I have to really understand what it is that you're trying to do in order for me to get on board with it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're beating a dead horse, I guess. So I would say we need to know how to speak to each other, and then but I have to trust you in order for that to work. So
I agree. I think that just because one comes before another for whomever doesn't make one less important than the other.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. I think that's person to person, depending on what those words mean to you. But as far as I'm concerned,
I think someone said in the comments there that it depends on your strengths, and I I think that that probably does ring true. It's like, do you know trust is an issue for you? If so, you know, that might come later. You know what I'm saying? But if you're good at talking, negotiation might come first, you know? But I think that that does not mean that one is more valuable than the other. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I agree with that. Mr. Blake Brown, I see you. Touch and
Should be
agree.
great. Yep. Okay. Yep.
All right,
Yep.
so
I
look,
feel
I
that.
am royally. So I'm sorry. Let's do some house cleaning, right?
Okay.
Because real quick, Rich, can you see the private chat?
Uh,
I know this is horrible. This is horrible show stuff. I'm literally typing here. No,
yeah. There you go, buddy. Yeah.
Jazz, are you seeing it as well?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so these are just producer things that I have to butt in and
Okay.
bug y'all
Yeah.
with, and I'm desperately sorry. Right,
Okay.
but I think people in the comments are asking some good questions. Are we talking about like when you're living with somebody and all of that? But here at Urban Academia, we like to blow things, like we ask a little question, blow them up, right? And then we try to shrink it back down layer by layer, right? Peeling that onion back to a place a little bit further than where we started. I know that sounds complicated. I had a whole Shrek onion thing in my mind, and then it just got chewed up, and I don't know what happened. But I feel like before you even start dating, before you even decide to take this person seriously in a relationship, the question becomes, how much do you trust person? It's almost like a trick question. They both are the same time, right? To have these humble negotiations at the same time, you're gonna have to decide, just literally decide to trust them to a certain point. Man, ask woman to go out on a date. He has to trust that she ain't gonna frapping trash him, right? She ain't gonna trash me. Get away from me. Who are you? Right? Like, Jay Z, I don't like your hair. Whatever, right? He has to trust that that's not gonna happen to him, because otherwise, why would he even try? Right? Then if they do decide to meet up, they both have to trust that they're gonna show up, respect each other's time, be there at a time, right? Then you have to trust that, okay, I'm not gonna try anything too crazy on the first night, right? Because especially for women, your number one issue, or the number one dangerous thing in your lives, are men. So that's a huge amount of trust that you're showing just by entertaining the dude, right? Just by deciding to go out on a date with this stranger. And at the same time, the guy got to trust that she ain't gonna stand him up or whatever, right? And it's gonna end up on, I don't know, TikTok, whatever the crap kids watch these days. So there's a lot going on, and I think it's a sliding scale, right? That's Miss Gifford. What's up? Hey, Miss Gifford.
So you're saying trust comes first, even indirectly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
So
See what you're
trust
saying.
comes in all different levels, as Miss Chappell says, and then Mr. Tanner says trusting is one of the hardest things in life to do. I disagree. Unless you meld it together with what Ashton in the comments is saying, which is, what level are we talking about, Mr. Tanner? Right? We drive on the road or the highway. My main man, Rich, drives all the time. How many dangerous situations do you come across? Right? Jasmine, as she commutes, myself, as I transport my children, my wife, and myself, how much are we trusting that there's not a crazy person on the highway that says, "Frap it, you turn and just drive backwards against the grain, trying to smash into as many people as he can because he's mentally ill"?
I don't trust them niggas. If I trusted them, I would
No.
be okay.
No. I'm doing the more. I'm doing the more. I want to hear your thoughts on this now.
I know,
because I'm doing the more extreme thing. That's what we do at Urban Academia, right? We go to the extremes and then we work our way back to the middle where most people are. So I feel like you starting your truck and getting on that highway, you are trusting that the truck is gonna work, that the people who were involved building your truck is gonna work, and not just your truck, but all of those hundreds of vehicles that you pass in or pass you.
who told
We're
you how
trusting.
trucking works? Who told you? Not how
Right,
it
but I'm
works.
saying the idea that, like, you know, it takes a long time to trust somebody. No. We trust people all the time. We're around people all the time, and we don't know who's going through what at what moment. So I want to
I
hear
hear
you
you.
expand on
I
that,
hear you.
Rich. While I
I
take
mean,
another bite.
I
dadgummit.
didn't look at it like that. You know what I mean? I didn't look at it from a trust first aspect. So I guess if you break it down further, are you really just gonna Okay, whatever. If you break it down
Hey, I
further,
warned you. Look, I'm just a little
I just
stuffy, but I
asked.
ain't
I
lying.
just asked.
The man's
I
got
just
to
asked.
eat, that gummy.
Well, if you do break it down further, then yeah, I guess you see one does come before the other one. You know what I mean? Because if you are going to go on a date, or if you're meeting, or however this first interaction or encounter happens, I guess it, depending on how you look at it, it does take some form of trust. You know what I mean? I've never looked at it like trust, because I've never, if I get there and she says, "Oh, your hair, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna go do something else." You know what I mean? So the trust level don't have to be that high. You know what I mean? But overall, you have a point. I see what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what's he saying in that comment right there, Rich?
That's Mr. Blake Brown. He's saying most people get into a healthy relationship trusting the other person until a reason is given not to. Absolutely.
Is that something you agree with, Jazz?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. Like, I don't know how many people would agree to be in a relationship if there wasn't something there, But I feel like so there, like one of our commenters said that there's different levels, right? You have like a very superficial level, which is along the lines of like a social contract with people to be decent, decency, things like that, right? That's very superficial. But I think more so pertaining to what we're talking about, like if we're, talking on like just like spouses, like there
Right.
has to be a little something there to even agree to negotiate, sure. But I think that if you get deeper on the seventh ring of trust, if you want to say, like,
I like
you're
that.
gonna have to have some boundaries, like when negotiating and speaking with each other. So
You said what? Seventh ring of trust?
I
are you
like having
like Drake
boundaries.
like that?
I like boundaries on negotiating and speaking to each other. That sounds like
Like,
drawing respect lines. You know what I mean? I think a
exactly.
lot of times, a lot of these, I speak personally. My personal relationship that I was in, it was just non-respectful. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it forces you, to not be
You
you
know
in a
what not
sense.
to do. You know what you don't like when someone speaks with you. And so
Exactly.
exactly. So I
But I see my problem is I think that, you know, people know lines even without you sometimes expressing them. Because where I'm from, there are undrawn lines,
where
there
you
are
from?
unwritten rules.
Where you
Well,
from?
I'm from ghettos around America, a little bit everywhere.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit
Okay,
everywhere.
so again, some commenters are coming in with, but what if you meet a person with trust issues? Then what? Right? And I love that comment because again, we're kind of working on trying to define what we mean by trust, what we mean by roles. Like once we get past all of these minute trust tests or, Rich's application that he's talked about the last couple of weeks, right? Once you get past that first date and you're in a relationship, right? What do we do then? Like, how do we decide who does what? And we already know communication, hard communication, right? Honest communication, and being willing to, sacrifice something you want for the both of y'all together to move forward, right? But what happens in what she's talking about? Like, what if you have a person with trust issues? And I think it comes down to, are you willing to deal with that? If I go on a date with somebody and you're like, "Oh, I didn't think you were showing up. Oh man, are you gonna leave early?" Like, "Oh man, those are red flags," and you got to figure that out, right?
First of all, you got to be a person who can identify those. If you identify a problem and you know it's a problem, then be honest with yourself and say it's a problem. You know what I mean? The average person doesn't see those problems because you're in whatever heat or passion or whatever the fuck you're going through. You're blind. You got your shit on. Whenever your shit comes off, you see all that ugly. And then when that's all you see is all that ugly after your shit come off, then you start to be honest with yourself. You know what I mean? I don't know. All you can do is learn. All you can do is learn. You know what I mean? You got to learn to understand yourself and your emotions, and figure out where to put that and who to put that with, who to trust with that. You know what I mean? That's where the trust comes in play. It's trusting somebody you know, with you.
And
So,
I want to piggyback off of that, Rich, because I want to touch and agree on that. I feel like you should not be in any relationship until you know what your boundaries are, what your standards are, what you will and will not tolerate, your deal breakers. You know, like if you're still trying to figure that out, date, a kiki, do what you got to do or whatever. But you know, I would recommend that nobody try to get into a long-term relationship until you know exactly what you want and what you will and will not tolerate. So, you know,
absolutely.
yeah.
I agree with that. I agree
But
with
we
that.
have Miss Phil, y'all, and listen, we're gonna have a little segment later on for anybody who wants to actually come in and ask a question and say their point. So be on the lookout for that. But this comment by Miss Phil, y'all, Miss Glennis Phil, y'all, Rich.
Hello, Miss Glenn. Hey, Miss
Yeah,
Glennis.
not Phyllis.
Damn, I
Look,
did call her Phyllis. I'm
Now,
sorry.
don't talk
Miss
about it.
Glennis.
Hey, if you don't know what the context
It
of
never
that, just
happened.
go on over to the, go watch the last week's episode and catch up for us. Give us that view. So yeah, so she's
Miss
saying
Glennis.
right, but so many people I know have said they were not like that at first, right? Which fair enough, but then it becomes like we talked about last week, right? Roles and responsibilities. The thing that I messed up earlier. We talked about it last week. Rich had an idea of like everything you want and don't want and formulate it into an application to give each other to fill out, right? Some sort of questionnaire that you fill out. And then, just like a company, you give them a 90-day trial period. Some lady said 2 years before she really trusts somebody. Because, narcissists, like I can speak on this because I feel like I'm a narcissist junior, right? I have narcissism light, okay? And I feel like there was a time in my life when I decided to throw caution to the wind and do whatever the crap I wanted to. Everything opposite of everything I've ever been taught that was good, right? Oh no, where's she at? Okay. So literally what I would do is just whatever the crap I wanted to, right? And the ideal is I have to hop from group to group to group because I can only keep that false thing up for so long. And then the real me comes out, where I'm trying to boo up whatever chick I'm at with the club or that gum. I mean, I may be smoking and drinking, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh man, but I shouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you can only keep that up for so long. So whatever you want to do, Miss Phil, y'all, like we talked about last week, right? I'm just gonna throw that up there. Yeah, she's talking about the name thing. So like we did last week, we figured that out that of course communication, honest, tough, hard communication, right? What do you like? What do you not like? I need to figure that out as fast as possible so we can figure out if it's worth our time.
I got a question.
You move on. Yeah.
There's a question in the chat that I would have to call my daddy for unless you can answer. You see it?
Oh man, the wifey. She must have heard me talking about that girl. What the hell she's saying? Go ahead. So she says, sometimes you don't know what you will or won't tolerate until you've been confronted with a situation, right? Mm-hmm. What do you do once you've been married for 10 years and situation arises? Ooh.
Good question.
Right. Now, I would gather, I don't know because I've not been there. You know what I mean? But I would gather that if you've been there for 10 years, hopefully you've gathered some sort of communication skills by now. Hopefully. You know what I mean? I understand they may not be there in the beginning, but 10 years in, I would hope that y'all have figured out some kind of way to speak to each other, understand each other. You know what I mean?
Right. So
but
now No, I was just saying, so if you go back and check out our other episodes, right? We've been doing for over a month a breakdown of the 6 major issues between men and women. One was sex, one was infidelity.
Common answer with all of these.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So the ideal of how to communicate, what we should be communicating about, right? This week we're talking about money and future planning. How do you even decide who does what? And so that's how we kind of got started with this trust question, right? So I feel like Miss Phil, y'all, is looking at the what do you call it? The extremes, right? And she writes in the comments, I just watched the ID channel and she, some lady hired a guy to try and kill her husband. Everyone said, wow, that's not like her. Well, first of all, we don't know what's going on in people's personal business.
We
don't know where that started and how that lack of good honest conversation, right? How much they lacked in that department and what led
we
to
know
her
they
trying to
lacked
kill
a
her.
lot. We know that.
But I'm saying we don't know the particulars, right?
But she told the other nigga about the murder, not him. So we know they wasn't communicating. You know, he didn't know he was gonna die, so they weren't talking
Right.
enough.
So yeah, all of these, like, the comments are on fire, man.
That's
Y'all,
something. Yeah,
I love it. Just stay with us. We'll have a section where y'all can come on and state your piece and whatnot.
Absolutely, absolutely.
She says, "I am." Listen to that. She over there playing devil's advocate. But yeah, we can look at the more extremes, right? Who the people who trust too much, too fast, right? We all know those people. I feel like as a feminine male, I've been that person. Yeah, tell me everything. I'll tell you everything. You know what? I feel like I can marry you. Like, I met you 48 hours ago. What the frap? Right? Right? So
Call it pillow talking.
Pillow talk. Not on day 1 and day 2.
Loose lips sink ships.
You know,
Shut the fuck up.
right. Right. See,
I was
where
talking to
you at that gone 15
I was
years
talking
ago?
to niggas out there that don't know that. Right? There's a lot of niggas that don't know that. And that's free game. And more than free game, it's a rule of society. If you don't understand it, it could get you messed up later on down the line. So leave that with you.
Well, right. Like I said, where were you at frapping 15 years ago? You know what I mean? This crazy idea, this Disney idea of like, yeah, I'm gonna swoop in and save her from her, ratchetness. Like, how did the song go? Don't save her. What?
I was listening to Don't Save Her. That's where I was at. I was right there with them.
Yeah. She said they don't want to be saved, right?
Yeah, we knew it. We knew it then. Problem is, for some reason we've stopped learning. We stopped, we still they doing worse shit, and we still running after. Come on, let me help you.
Oh my goodness.
So
oh my
we'll
goodness.
figure it out.
My poor
They
wife.
bad. Y'all
I don't think Rich can see the comments. That gummy. Rich, get on the comments. Anyway, the missus is saying he, all caps, not lying, y'all. Because look, we dated in high school. And after that fell through because, neither one of us were mature enough to hold it together at the time. Hey, upstairs, boy, please. So anyway, sorry, my son trying to make a cameo.
That niggas.
Right, like, hey, what y'all talking about? I mean, I fell in love with Princess Jasmine today when we were watching Aladdin.
Leave my presence.
We did watch Aladdin with Princess Jasmine, and her name is Jasmine. That's crazy. But there were times where, like, after that, like, my wife and I, we remained friends throughout that time period, right? And she saw me at my worst and still married me. Like, what the frap is wrong with her? You know what I mean? I ain't got to the bottom. It's been almost 7 years. Be 7 years next week. No, next couple of weeks. Sorry.
See, in my mind, that would enable you to trust her. You know what I mean? That would enable you to trust her so much more in my mind. You know what I mean? A lot of women, your worst is their leaving point. You know what I mean? Or I'm not even gonna say your worst. I don't think they are taught to even go that far. And I don't know if there's something you're supposed to teach somebody. I don't know the rules to this shit. I really don't.
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out.
I feel like it's less genuine than it used to be.
Right, that's what we're trying to figure out. We're gonna play our first clip of the show. It's gonna be a little janky, but just bear with me, okay?
What you got?
I'll be better prepared one day when I grow up.
It's okay, we good. Will you push the button when you're ready to? We'll wait.
No, I'm about to. So, just to kind of preface this clip, trying to get around the misconceptions about who makes what decision. And we all know the idea, right? The ideology behind, or not maybe behind, but we understand that, the woman is perceived in the relationship as the old nagging ball and chain. So I wanted to play this because I thought it was hilarious.
All right, this is my favorite subject, actually. I've been married for 35 years. I'm very happy. I was asked if you told me I am. That's good enough for me. When I got married, our relationship changed immediately, not gradually, but immediately. My wife started to share knowledge with me, knowledge I had no idea she had before we got married. Tremendous amounts of knowledge she must have stored throughout the years, waiting to share with her future husband, not all at one time, just bits and pieces here and there on an ongoing basis. And at one time I thought it would end. Now I know it never will.
Can't hear you, brother.
Hold on, here we go. Does that speak to you in any type of way? Dadgummit.
I don't know. No,
No,
different.
Jazz. I'm asking Jasmine in particular. Like this misconception that like, oh, I don't know what I would do without you and all this kind of stuff, right? The idea of the nagging ball and chain. That dude in that clip is talking about before he got married. I don't know how we'll be able to do all this normal stuff that I was obviously doing before. Like, how do you fight against those misconceptions to make sure that your guy is taking what you have to offer seriously?
Well, we've been together for a while, so I think a lot of it has just been experience. But the ball and chain. I feel like if you have a ball and chain, why? Why?
Why do we
Let her go. Like, let her go. Leave her. Surely y'all can find someone that better fulfills you if that's what you're looking for. Like, I don't subscribe to that whole like ball and chain type
She's
of
right.
deal. So I don't know.
She's right.
That sounds too much like slavery to me, and I can't. No.
Right.
I can't fucking agree on it.
She's right. Talk your stuff. Come on, Rich. Why is she right?
She's right. 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 Okay. So you
How
don't
did I read that actual sentence? Like I actually caught on to that.
Yeah. She's right. She's right. Everybody knows it.
I can't get into that.
You don't know that until you know that. You know what I mean? I don't know about trying to change somebody's mind or make them understand certain things. Some shit you got to bump your head about. Shout out to my father. You know what I mean? My father, he always told me, son, I know you're smart. You know this, you know that. But nigga, you don't listen. So you're going to have to bump your head a few times. And he was right. You know what I mean? I got knots, several places. You know what I mean? So, absolutely. But once you learn, you learn. You know what I mean? Once that message hits you, it hits you. You know what I mean? You have to take the signs that people give you. You know what I mean? If you feel like something is a ball and chain, if you have to, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, guys are gonna make their jokes. You're gonna have guys, that came from, every guy that used to say things like that wasn't miserable. But a lot of them, you got niggas that was, you know what I mean? If you find yourself going home, sitting in the car in the driveway, and you don't want to get out, there's a fucking reason. Move. That's what you do. That's the answer. That's how you fix that. Move.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Get out
Or
the way.
suffer.
move around.
Yeah. Or suffer. You know what I mean? Or
At the end of the day,
learn
you have
to
two choices,
communicate.
right? Like,
Because this is urban academia. So the other or is learn to communicate, which we're trying to talk about that right now. But you have to know if you're with a person that can communicate and can communicate on your level, whatever that is. Everybody's communication level is not the same. So if you find out that you cannot communicate, hey man, it is what it is. Kill him or get the fuck away from him. You decide.
Okay, so here at Urban Academia, we advise that you do the latter right, over the former. Like I don't need anybody catching the charge because it is that
common sense ain't common. You're right. You're right.
Well, look, Mr. Jude writes in. Hold on, I got something in my ear. What the crap is that? Ugh, technology. There we go. I hate it. Oh no. Oh no. Did I lose y'all? Is anybody out there? There
we good, man.
we good.
Okay, so Mr. Jude writes in. This is a rough night, man. Mr. Jude writes in. Ball and chain is the complete opposite of what it should be, right? Gotta lift each other up, not weigh each other down. Speaking bars,
Yes,
Jasmine
sir.
got me floating. Pick up line. I
Yes,
see
sir.
you. So he's still flirting with his lady, right?
Yes, sir.
So, as these daggone, what's up, Scott Elliott? What's up? Okay, I don't know if I can read all
Mr.
this.
Elliott, what's happening, buddy?
Yeah, man. So Miss Gifford says yes, excitedly. And look, for you out there who are watching this, please bear with me because we're also on Apple iTunes, Spotify, whatever. So a lot of times I have to actually describe what we all can see, right? So you should be where am I at? You should be excited to be with the one once you want it. Okay, so everybody's pretty much saying the same thing, right? So what happens in like the further what do you call it? The on the outskirts, right? The people on the edge. When you feel like I've been with this person for 2 years, we live together. Maybe there's a child involved. Like I want to take that next leap. You get married, and then that year 4, something happens that really tests your relationship, and that person fails the test. What do we do in that situation?
I mean, you make a decision, bro. You make a decision. You weigh your pros and cons. You make a decision. You know what I mean? We all want to do the ideal thing. You know what I mean? But life ain't always ideal, man. You know, if you can do what's ideal for you, by all means, do that shit. I'm a fan. I'm supporting you. I want to see you win. You know what I mean? But when I say I want to see you win, you might not win in the situation you was trying to win in. You might have to find a new situation to win. Mm-hmm. You know, that old situation might kill your ass. So, I suggest winning however you can.
Boy, I hate when we all agree. I really do.
I'm gonna say, I just think it depends on your boundaries. Like, if you have some deal breakers, and it's just like y'all talked about it initially and established your deal breakers and boundaries, and someone violates. I mean, you understood the repercussions because we spoke about it. Now, are you allowed to change your mind about that?
And absolutely.
But I feel like when you clearly state your boundaries and expectations, it really leaves smaller room for error, and it's always, like you hear, if you're finna do something bad, you hear your mama's voice in the back of your head saying, you bet not, or whatever, like you're gonna revert back to that conversation that you had because you're very familiar with your partner's boundaries and expectations. And if it doesn't matter in that moment, then let it be what it be. And the offendee is at liberty to either forgive you and give you a second chance or not, but the offender, it just has to accept what comes with it. You gotta be intentional with your actions, especially like how it affects your spouse. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guess what are you doing?
I'm trying to produce. This is your show as well, Mr. Rich. You can ask the follow-ups. I'm gonna get him some glasses. That's what it is. Are you secretly blind? Can you not see these private chats?
Listen, that's my business.
So look, man, we are all out here saying the same things, right? Oh, if it's too much, bounce and all that. I mean, a lot of people psychologically, right? It's not that easy. I mean, men who are in abusive relationships, it's a psychological warfare. I mean, can you imagine something that I can train your brain as a woman to think that when I slap you in the face, right, that is something that you did wrong and you need to correct yourself. My wife and I we were researching some stuff together and, nerding out over some of the information because I was like, I was under the impression that this idea that, the hierarchy, right, man here, woman here, like that's been since the beginning of time. And I thought it was that way in the beginning, just because simply we have to protect the source, right? You talk about Africa being the cradle of civilization. It really is the woman's womb, right? So I can't have you out here fighting saber-toothed tigers that go Power Ranger, morphin, whatever, frap, nothing.
You're using common sense right now.
Right, because common sense ain't coming. The idea that one dude can repopulate the world by himself as a male and 100 women, right? Just by sheer numbers and scientific breakdown, right? That's why I feel like it started off with women, you stay over here. And I don't know, man, maybe you look around and see if you can find some berries or something, but stay next to the camp that we've carved out for you that's safer than where the frap we're going to make sure we don't starve to death. But we found out that that's not necessarily true. Like in ancient Egypt, I think it was. I don't know, where's my wife? That going producer. Anyway, in ancient Egypt, what literally happened is that women had places in business. They owned businesses. They could divorce their men if they were not acting right. Like there was so much going on to where men and women were more equal. Because what we found out is that working together, no matter the sex, race, or whatever, we can make this, work. We can increase the likelihood of our, of our DNA passing on in kids. And then the colonials came and said, actually, this is the way it should be. You don't agree? Dead. Okay, next. This is the way it should be, right? Right. Well, I guess so. That gum, I saw you slice the other dude's head off. Yes, men first, then women, right? And then that started to perpetuate over time to what we see now. And then women are going through this period of fighting back of like, no, if I don't want to have sex with you, I ain't gotta. If I don't want to stay in the bedroom, right, or in the kitchen, barefoot, pregnant, however we say in the South, right, I don't want to. And I ain't gotta. Right.
So I'm back in these comments, man. We got to get back in these comments, man. They wild.
Oh, we got to get back in the comments, he says. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. First of all, Jazz got some props. Okay. Which one you want, Mr. Rich?
Well, first I read Mr. Tanner's comment. Well, let's start with Ashes. Let's start with Ashes up there on the screen.
Right. So the reality is marriage is hard. Relationships are hard. We are always changing, and sometimes am I blind with glasses?
Yeah.
Sometimes you look. No, I think my booty hole just tight because I'm reading in front of people. This is awful. Why would anybody choose to read out loud for all the internets to see? Sometimes you look at your spouse and mate and question your decisions. What the frap? the best you can hope for is that the answer to that question is you will do it again. Ooh. And then Tanner says, great point. All right. And then this is the one for you there, Rich. Go ahead. You be embarrassed like me. I'm going to take another.
Yeah, it looks like he says, just like women can break a man's spirit or mentality by breaking him down every day to the point where he feel like he has nothing and nowhere to go.
Exactly.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Now, I said that because the next thing said was by, what is this? Miss Glenn is here. And this one says, go ahead, buddy. This one says, but marriage should be looked at as a forever thing, unless one stepped out right and cheated on the other and can't forgive. Okay. Divorce shouldn't be brought in unless there is beating and so on. So first off, you said it should be looked at as a forever thing, and unless somebody steps out, but then you added another one, which is beating. So I think if you keep thinking, shit keeps coming up where you be like, oh, yep, and this too, because there's certain things, like she said, you got to establish boundaries. So the way that you're thinking about it, like, oh, this just never, you're right. That's what you want. That's what you're chasing. But if I'm punching you in your face every day when you walk in from work, you're going to change your mind. You know what I mean? Now let's take it back a step. I don't have to physically punch you in your face. Let's say I punch you in your heart every day with my words. You understand? Now, if I do that to you every day, eventually, you know what I mean? You're not expected to stay and deal with that. You know, we like to talk about our mental health over here a lot. I'm quite certain that does something to demean your mental health. You know what I mean? I'm not a doctor by any means, but you know. Okay, we got it. We got some agreements. Right. I'm pretty certain that's not good for you. So.
Oh man. Okay, so now the comments are fighting each other. Oh man.
Oh.
Blake Brown of Dad Tough Podcast, man. What's happening, Cap? He says marriage isn't the way anymore. Unfortunately, I want him.
That's right, because the city girls don't give a damn.
No.
It's gonna be a hot girl summer.
No. Marriage.
Better live their best life out there. I am happy for them.
Hey,
listen,
y'all go out there.
Listen. There exists such a thing. Like, we got to understand what marriage is, right? You literally have this company merging with that company. That's a marriage between companies. That gum hot fudge brownie married to some vanilla ice cream makes a pretty good thing. Now, if you put pickles on, I don't know, some daggum pickles and tuna fish, give me something, 13-year-old. You put pickles and tuna fish and some Kool-Aid, maybe that's a bad marriage. But that does not mean that marriage doesn't work. I refuse to believe that. Right? So I think it comes down to what are we using as a definition of marriage?
Wow. Okay. Sorry.
I know that was a
I'm
lot.
not
I'm
sure.
sorry.
No, yeah. It is. You know what I mean? And I just saw like this goofy ass TikTok. You just talking about bad combinations. I saw Lizzo put mustard on the Oreo, eat it. It's kind of fucking confusing. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bad combination. Common sense ain't common. Whatever. Go ahead.
Right. No, I mean, so yeah, mental abuse is just as bad as physical.
There's all
Right.
types of abuse. There's physical, there's mental, emotional, financial.
Right.
There's that, ladies.
Mhm.
Like your neck. So
Mhm.
it's secure the bag.
With
Right.
holding,
Your own
withholding of the booty is abuse.
First and foremost, pussy has always and forever, historically speaking, been powerful. And if every woman understood that, how powerful she is just by being female, I feel like things would be more than a matriarchal type of environment.
But
rather than a
with
patriarchal.
great power comes great responsibility.
And that's what we have to practice all the time. Like,
That's right. You can't just be wielding this pussy power around all
I'm
willy
gonna drop
nilly.
some game on y'all right quick.
Oh, hang on. Let's hear it.
Women really have
Wait.
to.
Hang on. I want this to be. Listen, hold on. Get the crap out of here. Every
All I'm gonna say, women, no, any woman will tell you, there is a care that you take with your man's ego. You let them, you make them feel a certain way when they're feeling down. You have to remind them of who they are, remind them of their power and their authority that they have at work or at home. Like, and that is not a bad thing at all. I think that it's a position of power, the one who can uplift the head of the household. So with that being said, just know, we know that we can make or break you. We know this.
well said. Well
You
done.
know it.
Here.
But
You
see,
say
common
some of
sense
you
ain't
know.
common.
But again, but what's the degree of that? Like, if you talk in the extremes, right? Let's say out of 100 people, 5 people, know that and use it well. Other 5 people over here never thought about that a day in their life and probably never will.
A lot of women don't understand their power. That's what I'm saying.
But most people are in the middle, where maybe I understand a little bit of the power, but I don't know if I'm capable of using it. There's different personality types. It's all sorts of things.
Toxic women who are reckless with that. Don't get it twisted. There are toxic women who are reckless with that for sure. Like, and they know it, and they run strong game. Like, but is that a person who's ready to be in a long-term relationship? I would say no. That's not what they're there for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The thing is like, when it comes to I guess like with finances or whatnot, going back to communication is always going to be like the number one issue, like, period. That's going to be like how you're going to communicate and what you agree upon. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, that is more valuable than I think what is given credit. Like, I've been a stay-at-home mom and but I couldn't do it long because that's just how I am. I've been working since I was 15. I don't really feel comfortable not making money, so that wasn't a good fit for me. But I do have a lot of friends and patients who that's what they want, and they would be happy with that. And as long as both of y'all can touch and agree and be happy on the roles is all that matters, right? But you cannot touch and agree if you don't say what you are desiring. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. Mr. Elliott writes in, yay, cough button in the room. Okay. Nagging is one thing I can't stand. Men hate when women tell
yes,
tell
we do,
them,
universally.
right. Women tell them when women tell them what to do, but as a man, you have to be taking care of the basic responsibilities and be the leader of the household. Now, so what needs to happen now? Because I think those are, as Mr. Tanner back there in the green room, what's happening, Cap? Be with you in a second. as Mr. Tanner said, those are all facts, right? But you got to understand that men have that same issue. Now, I do. My wife and I subscribe to the idea of man being head of household. For us, it's from our religious upbringing, right? Everything has to stay in alignment, just like a car. God, man, women, children, and it sounds crazy to be in that order. Because as a mother, I'm sure it's like, got to take care of my baby first. Like, no. You need to take care of the man, and the man needs to be making sure he's following, God, if you believe in that sort of thing. If you don't, good, solid principles, right? Moral principles, right? So the idea of being a leader, if I'm the coach and I got one of my players who was just talking about playing time, man, I ain't never getting to play, whatever, nagging me to death, that's on me to first of all, communicate to that player exactly why he's not playing, right? My wife and I go back and forth talking to each other. These are some hard conversations. Here's what you're doing and I don't like it. Here's what I would like you to do, right? And not on some ultimatum stuff, but if I love her, I'm going to take what she says seriously and vice versa. Absolutely. Right? So these are the things that we work on. We define those roles. Yes, man of the household. Even if you go biblically, when everybody talks about that Eve biting that frapping fruit, but what they don't highlight is that when God came there, he wasn't sitting around like, hey man, that Eve, what the frap is wrong with you, girl? He was like, Adam, where are you? Being head of household, being the man in the relationship, that's a position, which means how are you not watching your garden better? How did you let her be tricked and then allow yourself to be tricked as a result? So I think we got to be careful with it's not just, men hate when women nag. Like, all men, if you get nagged, you need to figure out why and what
and
you can do.
He couldn't do it, and they didn't have the city girls then. What am I supposed to do?
Not be with a city girl, Rich. Don't be with a city girl. I don't know. I don't like this attitude. I'm out. I'm going to go find me somebody who fits what I'm looking for. Who fits your description of your daggum application.
You're right. There's hope, Zilla. You're right. There's hope.
There's hope. Because there are some dudes out there who absolutely love them city girls. Look at the Tinder swindler, right? Look at the frapping, what was that dude? Not IKEA, but he was up in New York basically spitting game to these girls with some pretty eyes and good body, whatever, right? Spitting game to these girls. Same thing with all these girls. And they all got mad and was like going at him. Something Caleb, I can't remember. It was something, right? As I'm missing all these comments, right? But the idea was that he was up there absolutely playing the game, right? Absolutely playing the game. And the city girls who got him was okay until they didn't have him. Then it was an issue, right? I think those are the type of people that should be together. City boys, city girls, right? I'm a country dude, got me a nice southern wife. She loves to cook. I love to not cook. Boom, it works, man.
Absolutely. But look, I was just talking shit. But when you going into this, and we're talking about what should we be talking about? How do those conversations come about? You know what I mean? When you're dealing with finances and whatever, you need to have a goal of where you're going. How you gonna talk about your finances and who should be in charge of what and how it's going if you don't even know where the fuck you're trying to get to? Most people get together and they never had, and I'm saying this as a person who's never had this conversation with somebody else. You know what I mean? I've been in many relationships. Neither of us have sat down and said, hey, you know what? I want to be this. What do you want to be?
Really?
Well, I want to be this. Okay, well, how can I help you and how can you help me? And we don't do that. You know what I mean? Everything I've been through is either me looking out type shit or you it's like a not understanding, you know what I mean? It would be a service aspect from one to another, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what we do in this, you know what I mean? We provide each other some sort of service, whether it's feel good, whether it's finance, whether it's whatever it is for the temporary moment, you know what I mean? Until we figure out, I don't even like you.
Like you said before, that's something that needs to happen. My wife and I, like when people ask me, how do y'all do? Y'all seem so whatever, right?
But wait, before you go there, right? While I'm saying like, while you trying to make a plan, what if like I'm saying, what do you want to be? And you tell me what you want to be, and then you like, well, what do you want to be? I'm like a porn star.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
But
saying though,
something that needs to be
that's
talked
gonna
about
that's
before.
my
Do
point
you
is
want
my point is
kids?
for a
Is
lot
it a
of people
possibility?
that's gonna mess some things up. Like if we get
Blake,
8 years into this thing, we're trying to figure out where to put the money at, and you don't know what my end game is, you don't know what my goal is, you know what I mean? So you're trying to be responsible and do these different things, but I'm just thinking, I'm trying to be a porn star. I'm not really own what you own. So no, I don't want to do this with the money and that with the money. And you know, these are things you need to talk about beforehand. You know what I mean? If you want to do something that's gonna match up or agree in some kind of way, you know, then you got a better chance at that. You know what I mean? But if you over here and she way over here, it's probably not gonna work. You know what I mean? That's what common sense is.
Rich, multi-billion-dollar companies, what they tend to do is they put an application, knowing that people are gonna lie on it. But then what do? Do they give up the benefits right away? No. I'm gonna make you wait 90 days for the baseline stuff, right? Health insurance and PTO, all that stuff. And then if you're with the company a certain amount of time, then you get promoted and get more benefits and so on and so forth. I think what we're missing is time. But some people don't want to waste time. They don't want to spend that time, right? They don't want to put the effort in, right? Because that gonna be like, one, what if I put all this time in and I find out at the end, no, we're not compatible. Then is that
and
time?
And it sounds like fucking's not happening in this time that you're talking about. So
I mean,
I don't know. A lot of people not waiting that long, you know.
Think
GM
like a man.
Forces you to wait. You know what I mean?
What did Uncle Steve say? Think like a man. Rapping like
I'd rather continue to fucking and we just communicate better. You know what I mean? I don't think I just want to cut it out totally. But I don't know. I am gonna fast. So whatever.
Can I just say something? Rich, I feel like I think it's so interesting that you've never had a conversation with your lady about what do you want to do, like as far as like career goes, and she hasn't shared that with you either.
No, she might have told me. I've had situations where somebody might have just told me some random shit, but it's kind of like they come to you with what they're going to do, and that doesn't have anything to do with you at all. This is what I'm going to do.
If you're in a relationship with them, it definitely does.
Depending on what you're talking about.
Let me tell you, like,
maybe it should.
Craig is the first man I've ever been with who poured back into my cup. I'm very accustomed to, unfortunately, what a lot of Black women are accustomed to is that ride or die bullshit. It's a scam, sis. It's a scam. Do not subscribe to that. Because honestly, if reciprocity is not a part of your relationship, why are you there?
Now we got a lot of listeners of different, you know, backgrounds, cultures, and some of these niggas don't know what reciprocity means.
Reciprocity means
Here in Urban Academia, hold on, Jazz. Here in Urban Academia, we love to make sure that everybody is on the same level, no matter how you get
my
there.
apologies. Look.
Right. No. But before you go into your explanation, I want to first apologize.
Plus,
thank you so much for Facebook. Hang on, Rich.
Sure.
Hang on, everybody. Dadgummit. Frapping. Everybody get out. Sorry for you Facebookers. Okay. Thank you for joining us. Facebook on our YouTube channel, Twitch. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, all that stuff. Okay. Sorry. Everybody come on back. It's all good. Okay. Jazz, what were you saying?
Reciprocity means that you are receiving what you are putting out. That means if my cup is full, I pour half into your cup, okay? And then that means you will pour a quarter at least into mine so that we are equal at that point. Or you'll give me back my whole half cup. It means you're getting something back and you're not just giving and giving and giving and giving until you're empty. That does not serve you nor each other as a unit. You know what I mean? If there's just one side that's taking and only one side giving, it cannot work that way. So when you find somebody who is willing, like if you share your career aspirations with each other, right? You as a partner can decide from there, do I want it? Am I comfortable with my man being a porn star? Right? Does that bother me? If not, then you know what, babe? You go for it, and I'm going to support you every step of the way. Right? If it is a problem, share that with them right up front. I'm a big advocate for nipping shit in the bud
There we
right
go.
there
Right.
when
There
it
we go.
happens, right?
Listen, I get what you're saying. So I can't be getting ready to, be with you in the bedroom. And I go look at a porn and I see you on the porn. What the frap is this?
And
That
that
can't
is,
be happening in year 5, man.
if that is a surprise to you, most definitely.
Right.
However,
Absolutely.
if that's your zhuzh and you want to see your lady, doing what she do best on screen before y'all get down with the get around, then that's perfect too. You know what I'm saying? It can go
Oh, man.
either way, but either way, both people need to be,
Equally yoked with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel
absolutely.
like if you come to your partner and you say, hey, partner, male, female, whichever one's talking, you say, I want to do XYZ, and your partner says, that's what's up. Cool. You with the wrong motherfucker. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
point
That's-
blank
that's-
period.
If I care about you in that fashion and you come to me and you say, I want to do this, well then fuck, I want to help you.
How can I help you? What can
Yeah,
I do?
I want to help. I think that sounds dope. I want to help you out. I want to see you do that. You know what I mean? And rightfully so, when I tell you I want to do XYZ, I need that same passion. I need that same passion. And when I can't get that back, we might have a problem. We might have a problem.
Yeah, that should be a problem. It should not be one-sided. That's not a relationship, really. I mean, that's a parasitic infection. So
Man, so look,
Sounds about
some
right.
one last exchange, some more house cleaning before because Jazz, I want to ask you a specific question.
mhm.
I want to know like sort of the courtship that happened with all those other dudes and the courtship, how that was different with the courtship that happened with our good friend Craig Jude. For those of you who don't know, man, Craig Jude is the man that got me. So was he just like, oh, this is
Big
it,
Craig.
this is it? Or was it like, did y'all have more of those conversations? But before we do that, I want to let everybody know, like, if you have any comments, if you're on YouTube, click there. If you're joining us from Twitch, click right there. If you're joining us from Facebook, go ahead and click on that link. Follow the instructions, and then we can hear y'all side of it. You can do it audio only, video and audio, whatever. So you make the choices. So, so I want you to answer that question, Jazz, and then we'll come back with our first caller.
Hey, Craig says there's no pressure on this answer. I just want to point that out. Says he's listening very closely.
Craig,
He's taking notes to everything you say, and there's absolutely no pressure.
Craig, understand this. I'm not gonna do this with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck, and I'm gonna let them know. I'll let them know. Okay, so me and Craig actually got together like 2 years or so before we got together again. We both worked at the same place, so
Sound like a sneaky link.
we couldn't.
No. She's trying to skirt around. No. Listen,
There was
we
a
had
sneaky
guest
link
on-
somewhere.
Right.
It wasn't.
We
Me and
had
Craig
a guest on here, Jazz. Hang on. We had a guest on here. We asked them to be very specific, and they were probably too specific. So don't go too far in the weeds. But I want to talk about that first time. Like, was it just on some, we're in the same proximity, like we're around each other all the time? It was just maybe a hookup, and then you went on about your business, and then later on, it became something more.
Okay. Okay. So Craig is the first white boy I've ever dated or been with before, because it wasn't really like my zhuzh, but he seemed cool, right? He seemed down with the Browns. So I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. And okay, great. Okay. So we went on a date, and like I kind of ran off because I was just like, I was kind of in my city girl phase still a little bit, and so I was like, I really don't want to go there with him right now, but my body's saying something else. So like R. Kelly in the moment, like,
We don't reference him anymore.
I know it, but the words rang true in that scenario. So I left.
I don't know what they're talking about.
And we went like 2 years of being friends. I truly was not ready in that moment in my life for a long-term relationship. I would have ran it into the ground. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. It was not a good time. But we reconnected again 2 years later, went out on a date. It was supposed to be on some casual stuff, and it turned into serious. So, and that's what happened.
But I mean more of the conversations. Were they
Our
more?
conversations, our second time, well, the first time around, we didn't really have, we was just talking or whatever. But like when we
Really?
got together, we have these conversations like what I want to do. I want to do this. Matter of fact, when we got together, I was in nursing school and I failed out of nursing school. And I was heartbroken about it because I felt like one of my touchy spots is like insulting my intelligence. And so when I failed through that, I was like, like that really tore me up. And he was like, he lifted me up and was like, you can do that. You can do whatever you want after this. Like, fuck them, basically. And I did. I was like, you're right. Fuck them. Like, if I can't be a nurse, I'm going to be in charge of the nurses. It wasn't my zhuzh anyways. So I went to medical school and he supported me through that. And in turn, he also shared with me what he would like to do rather than stay at the current job that he was at. A lot of things had changed over the time that, he had been working there and he wasn't really happy there anymore. So when he shared his thoughts with me, that was like about what he wanted to do. That was motivation for me when times were like, when school was just like so much, you start going to like some dark places in the corners of your mind and you're like, is this even worth it? Like, it was him, like knowing how much he poured into me and how I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for him. And how I know that I, to myself, have made an obligation to help him with what he aspires to do. I made it like, it was the first time I had been in a relationship where he poured into my cup first. And then because I had to kind of rely on him pouring into my cup to really, because I wasn't giving it to myself, I wasn't encouraging myself or anything like that. I'm very self-deprecating for sure. So, like without him, I knew that I wouldn't be able to have done everything that I did. And I knew that the way that I can best, reciprocate that is by supporting him in what I felt like, number one, he's good at, and number two, he's going to enjoy. Because things are better when both of y'all enjoy your career,
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
I
When you're happy.
love
You're
Tanner in the comments, man. Sounds like Craig is a real stand-up guy. Shout out to him. All kinds of
absolutely.
salutes and whatnot.
Absolutely.
More guys like him, that's for sure.
I feel very blessed that
right.
I ended up with him, for sure.
One of the things that jumped out for me in that symposium you gave us so eloquently, man, you gotta get her back on the show, Rich. So, when you're pointing out that how if we are supporting each other, like if I'm supporting my wife and my wife is supporting me, that makes it better for each individual and then y'all as a whole, and then you're going out and conquering all these things as one unit, right?
Of course.
I hope people are paying attention to that. Like I had sort of a cheat code, right? I'm 14, 15 years old when I met my wife and first dated her. We went apart. We remained friends. She saw the absolute worst in me and accepted me no matter what. And then we get together, right? And then we have so much rapport. Like there's something to be said. I'm 36 now, I think. Am I 36? How old am I? Anyway, I'm 36 or so. I'm mid to late 30s, that gummit, right? But mid to late 30s, and like I've known her since 14. That's a long time to know somebody, right? So she got to see me, be who I really am, try some other personalities out, recover from that, and then become back who I am a little bit better. Oh, thanks, wife. See, she says, you're 36.
Good looking. Because we know he's crazy. Good looking.
Yeah, man. Shoot, I'm over here eating good and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
But that develops trust, man. That's a long time.
Right. So I hope people are listening to that. Yeah, no, speak on that, Rick. I like that.
Yeah. A lot of us know all of these phrases, and they're just phrases. We don't apply them. We don't know how to apply them. you know, and they're just phrases, you know. There has to come a point in time where you really understand what some of these things mean. You know what I mean? When you say to be a unit, to move as one, to be one collective, you know, that shit is deeper than just fucking talking. You know what I mean? And if you haven't set these, you know, first little boundaries, like I said, I have never even, you know, really sat down with somebody and say, hey, yo, what is it that you really want to do with be, and vice versa? You know what I mean? I'm just learning all of this though. You know what I mean? I'm just learning all of this. Like I said, we've been talking about needing to communicate, and a lot of us have been trying to communicate for years. But until we know what to communicate about, we ain't gonna get no fucking where. So these 6 points that we're using, exercise them. You know what I mean? I make a lot of jokes about this application shit, but it's simply to say, if GM, and the same shit, you know, they said about Steve Harvey in his book, you know what I mean? If GM and them is making people do all of these different steps in order to get a job and get some pay and get some benefits, then why wouldn't you feel the same way about your life and who you bringing into your life and your space? And, you know, so to me, it just makes sense. To me, it's common sense. But as we know, common sense ain't common. You know what I mean? But we're learning.
Nailed it.
Slowly but surely, we're learning.
I love it. So look, we're gonna show one more clip, then we're gonna bring on some, I want to say guests, but that S is doing a lot of heavy lifting. We only got one person in the back room, but we will do this clip of sort of, because if you don't understand, like Mr. Rich, if you don't understand exactly what you do want, maybe it could help you by looking at what you don't want. Hence, my main man, Patrice O'Neal. Bear with us.
It's hard to be honest, man. Honesty is not the greatest thing to be. It's not. It's just no one wants to hear. Yeah. Especially your woman, you know, she don't want to hear it. You ever have your girlfriend or your wife call you from another room and she's like, "Sweetie," and then like immediately you go, your stomach just goes, "Oh, oh, what does she want? Oh, this is gonna suck. I know it. It's not gonna be good because it's never good. You want to hear what happened to me today?" He'd be like, "Oh, not really. I always make my girlfriend tell me the end of any story she get ready to tell me first before I invest in the whole." I'd be like, "Shut up. What's the end of the story?" Like, somebody got shot. All right, go ahead. Try to tell a story. She starts off wrong all the time. "You know my friend Diane, right?" And here's why I mess up. I go, "Nah, I don't know Diane." "You know Diane." "Now I gotta tell you an hour and a half side story about who Diane is, because I can't keep going with the story till you know who Diane is. Remember 3 years ago I made you go to a party that you didn't want to go to? Or was it 2 years ago?
This nigga talking now.
It was 3 years ago I made you go. And remember I introduced you to a bunch of women you didn't care about? One of them was Diane. You remember now? Don't do this. Yeah, I remember." "You don't remember, you're just saying that so I can tell the story faster." "Well, why don't you tell the story faster? Who got shot?" "Did Diane get shot?" "She didn't get shot." "Did she shoot somebody?" "She didn't shoot." "Why'd you say Diane?" "Because she don't like guns."
Oh, I love some Patrice O'Neal, man. Rest in power to that dude.
Hey, man, my man was censored like hell, man. That's not that was partial Patrice O'Neal. I wanted to see
that was
where
at
he
a festival, Patrice O'Neal.
It must have been.
It was a legend.
It must have been.
As we welcome another legend from No Cap
What's happening, Mr.
Podcast, or
Tanner?
whatever he's gonna call his new things, we gonna bully him into doing.
What's going
Mr. Brian
on?
Tanner, what's
going
happening,
on,
man?
fellas and young lady? How you doing today? How y'all doing tonight?
What's the word, bro?
Just
Doing
chilling.
well. So look, first you can say which one of us maybe you have a question for, or all of us ask your question, and then we'll do our best to answer before we get on up out of here.
Oh man, I really don't have too much question. Y'all have hit on some fine points tonight. Very fine points. You know, I love just watching the excellent content that you guys continue to put out every
Thank you, sir.
week, man. It's phenomenal. These are conversations that need to be said, man.
Thank you.
And it's
Absolutely.
one way, since everything is done social media wise now, this is things to get people aware of maybe where they need to go in having these conversations with significant others. You know, I see a lot of people in the comment section talking about they've been with their significant others for a long time. You know, and that's the main thing with anything with life is longevity, you know, to build that foundation from the ground up. And a lot of us don't build that foundation. But I do have a question for Rich. This nigga has a lot of knowledge, and I love the knowledge that this guy spits. But nigga, do you not have a woman? What is going on here? Why you ain't gave this knowledge to that female? Because
Listen,
Wait, before you answer,
hey.
before you answer,
Whoa.
Rich, before you answer.
Yeah. So, you know, he is such an ass, I swear. Anyway, so first and foremost, you can't just give anything to anybody.
I
Say,
get that.
you know,
Absolutely.
common sense ain't common, and no offense, but you can lead anything. I almost said a horse, and I thought about it. But you can lead a person to water. You know, you can't make them drink. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
and not only that, but you know, I don't want to act as if I got it all together. I don't. There's so many things I don't know, but I can admit I don't know them. But the shit that I know, I know.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's sort of like teams. You know what I mean? We all play sports. You know what I mean? Everybody's got a position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you play center and I'm 5 feet tall, I'm not gonna come to you checking you about your job. I believe you know it. You know what I mean? You have people that, you know, and especially if you've been titled as head of the household because you're a man since the beginning of time and this and that, you want some sort of respect in a sense. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And for me, my problem area with a female is or you know, with the relationships that were real and I was really, you know, when I was really trying to, you know, there was a lack of respect there. You know what I mean? And you try your best to do what you can do, but you can't always do, you know.
I like it.
Man,
I like it.
listen, I didn't know what was gonna go on. Like I tend.
You thought I was gonna say something?
You just got out of there too fast.
You think I'm
I
crazy?
tend,
They
as
say
we
that I'm
discussed
crazy.
before,
I ain't that goddamn crazy.
You didn't even see smoke. You just thought you smelt it and took off.
it just,
Man, there's
Nope.
smoke always here.
That's just
you know
what's
what I
in
mean?
me.
I live in the smoke. You know what I mean?
Look.
So I know how to dance in fire. I ain't tripping. You know what I mean? Some fire you can't put out. Some fire you got to stand on that shit. So
but like you said, man. But like you said, when you smell smoke, you know that's fire. You know, we were taught in school to get away from that. I didn't know what to expect, man. Maybe a fire to help cook some stuff. It may be a fire trying to burn the house down, and I want no
some fire
part
you
of
got
it.
to stand on, brother. You can't run from all of it. You got to stand on some of that shit. Put that shit out.
Hey, Miss Phil, y'all. Listen, Miss Phil, y'all. Like, I'm surprised she didn't jump on with us tonight. I'm so sad that we didn't get to hear your voice and see your face. She says,
Oh,
"Rich,
it's
you
all
will
good. I ain't
find."
sad.
She says, "Rich, you will find that special queen. Don't worry, hun. Hugs. Don't you love them Alabama women? God, dog, they got a way of stroking that ego, son.
Just as nice. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
But hey, Mr. Tanner, thanks so much for pouring that out for us, man. Look, hey, man, get the Frap on the Come Frapping podcast, man. We need to hear your opinion some more.
Yeah,
boy.
Just
man, I gotta get in on
enjoying us every other time.
Man,
I'm about to put them on everything.
I got lucky and got to be off work tonight. I was expecting to be at work today. They let me off, so I'm just chilling.
Hey, see, that's because you need to hear this word.
Man, that's what it is too.
All right, we're going back in the back room. Get you a cookie, a pretzel or two, you know, some sort of hello, whatever the frap is back there in the back room. Miss Jasmine, our wonderful, wonderful guest. Thank you so much for lending a female's perspective. We've been trying for over a month. Like, I'll backtrack a little bit. We've had Battle of the Sexes with my sister and her co-host from her podcast, and we broke down the 6 issues between men and women, and it just wasn't enough. So we decided we're going to take it on the road and make the next 6 weeks about each of those things. And we still don't have enough time, right?
Yeah.
On the next one.
Thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed myself, and it's been fun. So thank y'all.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you back again. You don't let this be your last time pulling up here at Urban Academy.
You some of my aunties. It won't. I'm gonna call Colette. It's okay. I'm gonna be back.
No, we'll pick up.
I'll be happy to.
Absolutely.
Hey, Gail's
Look,
got it. Gail's got it. We'll pick up. It's all
no.
good.
We put Mr. Jude to work, man. He's the one. But anyway, I almost said something. Anyway, we'll get her back on here for sure.
Hey, man, you got no filter. That's what I need. I need to talk to you. I need somebody to talk to. Come on, man.
I know. I put it out there, man. Miss Gifford. I don't know if you want that smoke. Tone, Mr. Rich, here at Urban Academia, we like to explore some dangerous areas, right? We start off a little, blow it up, and then we shrink it down, and hopefully we're better than when we started. But man, Miss Ashton Gifford, man, I don't know. That might be. She's scary.
We'll see next time.
With provocateur. I love
We'll
that.
find out next time.
Scott Elliott knows. Am I lying, Mr. Elliott? Am I lying? Ashton is a beast. But any shout outs or promos, anything before you get out of here, Miss Jasmine?
Oh no, I have nothing. I live under a rock. You'll find me there. And yes, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. I would love to get on, especially Ashton. They ain't hating, baby. I would love to get on with her. Like, yes. So I love
We'll
confrontation.
be looking for you both. Absolutely.
Good people. Thanks for all my Spring Hill Raiders for showing up. Where them Central Lions?
Don't be shouting.
Where the
that
frapping them Central Lions at? Thank
I
you
ain't
for
trying
joining
to
us, Miss
shout that
Jazz.
shit. I gotta go.
Hey,
Okay. All right.
hey.
Whatever.
I'm just saying, Spring Hill's in the building, dadgummit. SHHS, dadgummit. I remember 04, y'all didn't want to see us, dadgummit. Football or basketball, dadgummit. What the crap we talking about, Rich?
What
What crap you talking about, man?
What memories are you having?
Get the frap out. Oh, I forgot that I married a lion. Oh, my God.
Man, thank you,
What the
Aisha.
frap? Get that
Thank you.
comment the frap
Thank
out of
you,
here.
Asha.
How do I?
Thank you, Asha.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. See,
Yeah.
SSH is in the building. That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
okay.
about. That
All right.
04
All right.
ran it.
Pipe down.
Did we not beat
Pipe
y'all
down.
in baseball, basketball, and football?
Pipe down.
Did we not beat y'all in baseball,
Right.
football, and basketball?
I'm going 300 kick somebody in the chest here in just a minute. I've had about enough. This is it. That's all I'm
I
gonna say.
love it. But hey, man, thank y'all so much for joining us. Mr. Rich is gonna get the last word as usual. But yeah, thank y'all so much, man. Next week, if I'm on point as producer / co-host, man, I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired.
My guy's always on point, man.
Oh my goodness. Look at them. Look, they are in here, man. Where them lions at, dadgummit? Anyway, please join us same time next week, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for you Tennessee folks. Where
That's
you
how we
going
dunked on
with-
you every time.
Oh, you literally dunked on me with the shirt. What the fuck?
Every time. Every time. That's how
Oh,
we do it.
Lord. All right, man. We out of here. Mr. Rich, last word as usual. Dunk on me.
All right, man. Once again, thank you guys. Thank you for joining another episode of Urban Academia. Please, everybody pull up again next week. We'll be back same time, 7:15. You know what I mean? Be back with the issues. Join us. You know what I mean? If you couldn't call in this show, call in next show. We want to hear from you. We want to talk to you. Hey, pull up. We love you. Common sense ain't coming, baby. Urban Academia.
For you.